We're going to bring in Jacob Ward. He's NBC's business and tech correspondent. This was a big deal yesterday. Not only is Apple in the business they've already been in, but they're going into the movies, to the credit card business, arcade, magazines. Tell us why they decided to jump in with both feet.
You know, what's crazy is that you go to a place like that and you begin to feel, until you've sat in the Cupertino campus, you don't understand how much money that company has. They are so liquid. It's like $245 billion in cash that they have just kicking around. The GDP of Vietnam is less than that, right? So to be in that spaceship environment, where everything's taken care of, even the banisters kind of blow your mind, you realize they can afford to do anything. Right. And so in this case, they're just revealing all of this stuff that's just marketing to get you to buy more phones.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, like, they're practically like in the vacuum and blender business at this point. Why wouldn't they pile all that cash into more technology? I mean, have they each literally reached the end of the internet and there's nothing more to discover?
It's almost like that, right? I mean, in a way, they have. A lot of analysts sort of say, well, maybe they've sold all the iPhones they're ever going to sell and will only be in the business now of replacing existing iPhones. But I don't think it's that. They definitely have more room to grow. But what they're trying to do to all of us is get us inside their walled garden so that we will continue to buy the same kinds of devices over and over again. Apple's profit margin on your average iPhone is they literally make $500 for every $1,000 phone you buy. The margin is incredible. So as long as they can keep you coming back by offering you a credit card or movies or, in this case, journalism, which they've announced a whole foray into, all of that keeps you coming back into the core business.
All a gateway to get you to buy more phones?
Yeah.
What about the credit card, though? That sounds kind of fascinating.
So this was the part that, and I'm a pretty jaded guy. I've been to a lot of these events, and I kind of, usually sit through them, but whoa, this one blew my mind. So they're not giving away a credit card, but they're going to have a credit card that doesn't have any fees, and where they say the interest rate won't change if you miss a payment, which is like the core of how credit card companies make money. I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. So the fact that they're sort of giving away is one way to say it. Another way is to sort of say eating the credit card industry as marketing. That's a powerful company. I mean, that's a company that can, when it throws its weight around, changes gravity.
There weren't a lot of details yesterday on the arcade, the newsstand, these new shows that are coming out in the fall. What do we think all of this is going to mean for the consumer? How much is it going to cost? Or do we even know?
Yeah, we don't totally know. The fine print in the Apple announcement on the credit card was that somewhere between a 13% and 24% APR, which is not a low APR by any means. But then, they were pretty vague on the details on the new entertainment service. The rest of it, as a former magazine editor, I was pretty alarmed that they're going to be charging $10 a month for open access to over 300 magazines, which to me really sinks the business model of a lot of.
But not all of the content, right? Some of it will still be behind the paywall.
Oh yeah, a lot of it will be behind the paywall. But for me, that thing of just seeing how many different places they can choose to go with all of their money is incredible.
What they did to the music industry, making it very difficult for artists to make money. Yeah, they're going to probably do to the magazine industry and possibly even television.
That's right. And you see these weird partnerships where the companies, the credit card companies, for instance, that they originally partnered with to make Apple Pay possible, they're now going to compete directly with those companies, And it reminds me the same way with Netflix, partnering up with studios, and now suddenly they're competing with studios. These partnerships seem to end badly for people that go into them. And so for me, again, it's the weight of it and the effect of it that's just really amazing.
It's weird to think about one company controlling so many different aspects of your life, but that's another story for another day because we're out of time.
Thanks, Jake.
We can talk to you all morning.
That was great.
Yeah, thanks.